This is Damon Stevens. The FinWell Builder. Today is Monday, August 29th, 2022, and this is stock market update for our trades of the day. And what a day it was. Boy, we didn't go very far, but definitely was still a down day. So hopefully you stayed with the trend from Friday and we're able to make some money today. But the question comes in, does Turnaround Tuesday come out tomorrow and let us have a little bit of a reprieve here, or do we continue this downward trend? So let's get right into it, take a look at what's going on so we can prepare for tomorrow as we get ready for the market. Looking at today, you can see here Dow Jones closed down 0.57%, NASDAQ down 1.02%, S&P 500 down 0.67%. Right across the board pretty much except for energy. Boy, I saw ExxonMobil this morning and it just was on a little rocket ride. So Exxon did really good today. I don't know if anybody caught it, but energy was definitely where the money was. We also had on our scanner AVCT, a couple others. AVCT was like a 38-cent stock, so I did not trade that one. We did have a carryover from last week, so I don't know if anybody caught it, but NERV had a rocket ride today as well. It started a pre-market, so I don't know if anybody caught this one, but just crazy. And I just put a daily chart up here just so you can see the highs was just over $14 here, which is back here in September of 2021. We had a high of 1680, 1707. So looking to see, do we get this tomorrow? Maybe we can get another rally out of this thing, up towards 16 or $17. But let me just zoom in here so you can see. But you can see here, this was on the 4th. That's where we first got this little bump up here to $7 from $2.50. And then it pulled all the way back. And then, on the 22nd is kind of when we got, this rally up here over, this last week and just continues to move higher. And then we got a spike today. So we'll see if we can hold this. We need to get back over this $12 range to kind of run up again. So be watching this pre-market to see if we get, additional run up here, maybe to, this new trend, this new line up here is around 1680 tomorrow. Oxy, again, energy, nice run. Consolidating here though, so be careful with the Oxy. You can see here back in May is where we kind of made this high at $74, and we're kind of choppy back and forth here. So definitely something to pay attention to. And then ConocoPhillips, nice run up here as well. You can see another high, but here's the 124.08 is kind of what we're looking for to work towards. And then ExxonMobil, you see here, that was kind of our support line here at 97.52, but the high is 105.57. And so we're not quite there yet. So that would be kind of the next line in the sand. If I can put that in here so you can see it. That'll be the next goal, to see if we can kind of continue to run up this candle right here. So we'll see if we can break out and continue to run. But right now, ExxonMobil bouncing off that support line that we have here, and looks like it held today. I did spike it, but then it's holding. So we'll see if we get another run at this tomorrow. Looking at our calls and puts, so people shorting the market versus long in the market. This is S&P 500. Red is people shorting the market. Green is people, positive on the market. You see definitely, almost 2.82 people shorting the market to long. So definitely people are expecting the market to continue to go down. That's where the play is. Very few in the top, very heavily, especially around the 400 range, which we're like right almost there. So if we break below the 400, these guys get rewarded. If not, the market takes the money back at the end of the week. So we'll see kind of what happens as we get into this week. We're getting it tomorrow. We get consumer confidence, CCI tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and job openings as well. So, so it could get some information tomorrow that might, move the market a little bit. Probably not as much as Thursday, Friday though. Wednesday we have employment report. But here's Thursday, initial jobless claims, manufacturing, non-farm payrolls on Friday, unemployment rates. Those are the things that probably move the market more as far as from a volatility standpoint. So we'll see what happens. So just be careful this week. We are in a back down to into a bear territory again. So just something to be aware of. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to our channel. Also share it with others so that we can continue to expand the community out here and be able to reach out and help others as well, as everybody's trying to find a way to make money and to leverage this market. You can also go to finwealthlive.com, and there you'll find a link to join our Discord. free Discord service out there where we post numbers before the market opens on what we're trading, when we're getting in, when we're getting out. So definitely take advantage of that if you haven't already. Looking at Apple here, you see Apple made this high here towards the top of our deviation bands here, and it's pulled back here and just sitting here right above the 50-day. So looking to hold here, if we can hold this range here around 159 and bounce off of here, then we can possibly just run back up here, towards the highs again. But you can see that so far definitely on a downward trend, and here's all the moving averages that were just below us here. The 200-day moving average is at 155. So hopefully we can hold here, even if we stay sandwiched here, maybe go sideways a little bit for a while until we get some energy to go back up. But right now, still holding that 50-day. Tesla, right at the 200 and the 50-day, just below the 20. So again, we're going to see some common themes here. Almost all companies in the S&P 500 got over the 50-day moving average. Now a lot of them have pulled back. But so this is the chance for them to hold it and be able to bounce here. Maybe this becomes a range, as you can see here. Maybe we continue to range between this 279 area to 314. So that's kind of where that's marked out there. Amazon pull below 20 as well, sitting above the 50-day moving average right here, right now. So again, seeing some common, but you also see a wedge here. And here's kind of where we rode the bottom of the wedge, hit the top of the wedge and upper deviation bands and pull back. So we'll see if we can get some support here. If not, here's our trend line down here at the bottom. So it's possible, we could come all the way back down here to find support and then bounce off. So just something to be aware of. But as long as we hold up 50 days on these stocks, we should be good. NVIDIA continues to show weakness. You can see here, NVIDIA's been in this range back and forth. And so we're coming towards the bottom of this 155 area. So hopefully we can get a bounce off of here. Also, this is kind of a downward sloping wedge here. So, if we get some consolidation here, maybe we can break out. But NVIDIA is still showing weak though. Google, talking about this one over the last several weeks. Google has been in a broad range, back and forth, up and down through this huge range area. And we're just coming back down to it. Coming down to this first area of 109.42, right at it. So we're kind of where we bounced here before, and we bounced here and bounced here and bounced here. So that's why that's kind of marked out here as a possible place for it to bounce. If not, you have the one line below it at 106.62, and then down here 105, 104 area was the last area to bounce within this up and down. So Google continues to move in the same direction it did before. And here's what I was talking about: S&P 500 above the 50-day moving average. And we talked about this one, last couple of weeks. This is the high 93.46. That was back in April 2021. And then these were the latest highs. Around 76% of all companies in the S&P 500 were above their 50-day moving average, and we spiked up to 92. We stayed there for a week. And this is what we're talking about in the videos, that hey, it could get rejected here because it always has. This is like the high. The high has been since early on. And so more likely we might get a pullback, and that's exactly what happened. Didn't know it was going to be this steep on this day, but you see we definitely pulled back here. And I'm not as concerned about the moving averages as much on this one as kind of the areas of support. And you see this is kind of the area of support, kind of right above it. This last consolidation area here, you see we consolidated in this area in December 2021, consolidated in this area in April 2022. So looking for some support in that range above these other moving averages. 10-year yield, you can see here we got this wedge here. We've come from the top to the bottom of the wedge, back up to the top, and that's kind of where we're sitting right now. We're sitting kind of high still. If money's flowing into bonds, they're not as much flowing into stocks. So we are elevated here. So we'll see if it breaks out or not. But if not, it should maybe come down here and stay within this wedge and not break out. But we'll see what happens. The 2-year, you see here, kind of in this range almost. And it looked like we're going to break out above this high, and then we pull back a little bit. So we'll see if we can kind of pull back down here. Maybe that'll help the market move a little bit here. But right now, 2-year yields remain elevated as well. The dollar, is continuing to be elevated, toward these highs at 109 area. So we pulled back a little bit, but still kind of in this tight range up here. So we'll see, where the dollar goes. As long as the dollar is elevated, money's moving out and into cash. Looking at the dollar or at the gold here, you can see gold's, every time the dollar goes up, the gold comes down and vice versa. And you see we kind of spiked it. On Friday, we're back up here in this range, and so maybe we stay in this range for a while with gold. But again, gold is downward sloping. You see here. So the bear market remains with gold. U.S. oil, energy, continues just to kind of rocket up here. We've been kind of in this little chop range here, and we got this line here. That's around 78, and so you can see that that's kind of where we broke down. This has kind of been the range. We've kind of broke above it a little bit, but mostly we've been here. So we're almost at the top. We're at the top of that range. So if we break out, get really above 79 is kind of where we get the breakout to maybe go towards those highs again at 92. The VIX on a daily basis. So we broke out of this wedge. So we were in this wedge, kind of going back and forth, and we broke down back to these lows in this range here. And we were kind of there for several days and then broke up. And that's kind of where the volatility came in and the market kind of fell apart on us. And so you see here today we spiked almost back into this range, into the wedge, but failed and came back down. But as long as we're above 25 on the VIX, we're going to see volatility in the marketplace, and more likely the market's going to continue coming down. So we really got to see this break back down again on the VIX. If it's still elevated, just expect more downturn on the market. On a weekly basis, you can see here, we pulled back and then we're back up here, and we retraced about 50% of that move. But on the positive side right now still. So on a weekly basis, we are still elevated on the VIX. SPY S&P 500 daily chart. You see here, this was the big breakdown candle, and today, continuation. We got to hold support here around this 400. If we break 400, then we had a lot of activity around 394, 393. Really is kind of more of where we had a lot of consolidation, a lot of action. So looking for some support down there, and possibly bounce or become range bound in this area, because you see all this consolidation that happened within this range, about 417 to 400 for quite a bit of time. So maybe that'll this will engulf all these candles back and forth until we get a breakout again. But we're still below that candle though, so something to watch for tomorrow. Looking to see if we can get support and sustain above 400 and not break that. On a weekly basis, same thing. See this candle, this is what I'm talking about. Here's a candle above the 100, sandwich between the 150. We need to stay in this range here and try to break out again. If not, we could be coming back down towards lows. And we're actually, you can see kind of where we were down at this lower deviation band, and we're almost down to this secondary band here. And this trend line, this has been in there for since we broke down, and you can see that we kind of came up to the top, and that's where we failed on a weekly basis on the SPY. And so that was a failure again. It came down. So do we come back down and test lows again? It's possible, 362, but I'm hoping that we don't need to, and we can find some energy to get above and stay above these moving averages. But we'll see what happens. Triple Qs coming down here to support. So we'll hopefully get some support above here and bounce off here right now. Though looking bearish again on the triple Qs. Semiconductors really broke down today. So that's really kind of pulling everything down, and could drag everything else out. So here's our lower trend line down here. Here's our center line around 216. Looking to get support and a bounce off that 216 area. IWM pulling down. It's right on that 50-day moving average. So as we talked about, we've lost a lot of 50-day moving averages on companies. So that's a sign of weakness when it's below 50-day. So we're kind of right on the edge. So we need to hold this 187 area. On the financial sector, you can see financial sector pulled down quite a bit here below our support lines that we had here. So showing definitely weakness in XLF. We'll see if we can hopefully get support. You can see we got the secondary deviation bands and we're just right on the bottom of it. So see if we can bounce off here, get back above the support line. If not, we could be coming back down here to this, neckline area down here at 32. XLV healthcare definitely shows some weakness today. It really broke down, came down and kind of tag teamed with this candle here. So if we can get support from the candle here back in July, on July 14th, and bounce from here, you can see that, that's kind of where healthcare had come down, failed, found support, and then bounced the next day. So, if we're going to get that same type of bounce and make this like a little double bottom here in this range, that would be ideal. If not, then, we could be starting to come down here and either test this area here, this 124.75 area, or down to the lows again. Energy sector, again, like I said, strong, just continues to be strong. You see that we're kind of consolidating though here. We're kind of getting tight here. You can see last really 3 days of trading kind of that same area. And so it's an area it's trying to break through. Got to get above, this 84 area to, start to roll back up towards the highs again. Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin really had a bad weekend, just kind of with everything else. And so we're kind of down here, not quite down to this 19. This is kind of the level we had before where we kind of bounced off. You can kind of see it almost like a triple bottom right here. And that's kind of where we kind of took off from there. So we're not there quite yet, but we kind of bounced early off there. It could be, this could be a rolling though. We could be coming down and still tagging that. So let's see if we can get some support and stay above 20,000. If we break the 20,000, then 19 would be on the docket, and then down to 17. Ethereum, trying to get back up. It's really trying to hold this area here and bounce. But again, showing weakness, this may become range bound. If we can't break back above 1575, we may just range in this weight area for a while, kind of like we did before. You see, we spent a couple weeks before we got them broke out. So that's our stocks, our cryptos, things we're looking at. Definitely join us on the Discord, and we'll continue to bring this content to you. And again, if you want to join us, we have a community where we have live trading, training courses, group training, and one-on-ones where we kind of can even look at your desktop and see what your setup's like and help you optimize kind of how you're trading. And then you can take our masterclass as well as a member of our group. So definitely continue to join us, and let's make some money together in this market. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow night. Plan out our trades for the next day.